Welcome to That's Good Broncos. I'm Brandon Perna, and today, sadly, I have to report on the loss of an amazing performer, comedian, and pioneer in Denver sports. I'm talking about the death of the great Robin Williams. Many people know Robin Williams for his roles in many classic American movies. Good Will Hunting, Mrs. Doubtfire, Hook, Dead Poets Society, Good Morning Vietnam, the voice of a genie in Aladdin, and many, many more. But what many people don't know is that Robin Williams was in fact a Denver Bronco. He wasn't a player, but he was part of the team. More importantly, he is an icon in the cheering community as he broke down the gender barriers in a sport where men weren't formally allowed. It was his courage and willingness to be first that now gives male cheerleaders all over the United States the dignity to be who they truly are. Male cheerleaders. So let's take a look at Robin in his first performance ever as the first male cheerleader ever in the National Football League.
I want you to go out there and win this one for the zipper. Come on. Everybody get in the middle, Good chin out, get out, Let's go.
Normally, I do not report on Denver Broncos cheerleaders. It's not because I don't consider them part of the team. It's because I'm not allowed within 100 feet of any of them. But today is an exception. At the time, Robin was going by the name of Mork, and although he was quickly becoming one of the best cheerleaders on the team, he decided to pursue his passion as an actor and comedian. It was clearly the correct choice for him, especially when you consider the fact that cheerleaders get paid jack. And the movie Jack, starring Robin Williams, earned $11 million in its opening weekend in 1996. If you combine all of the Denver Broncos cheerleader salaries and add them up from 1982 until forever, they still wouldn't have made that much money. So getting out of the cheer game was by far Robin's best decision. Denver's loss was the world's gain. Now, I wasn't going to talk about the death of Robin Williams on what can barely be called a football show, but when I saw that clip of him as a Denver Broncos cheerleader, I felt compelled to do so. Robin was one of the best comedic actors of all time. He could make anyone laugh, and that's why we loved watching him. When I think about movies I watched during my childhood, Hook, Miss Doubtfire, and Aladdin had to be in the top 10 of movies that played over and over and over again in my family's VCR. I remember going to the movie theater with my sister, dad, and grandpa to watch Mrs. Doubtfire. I also remember my dad and grandpa laughing during that movie. And not that fake laugh that parents do so their kids think that they're actually enjoying the fucking movie they're watching. You know, real laughs. When my dreams of playing in the NFL were crushed by the realization that I was born with a body better built to style hair, I began to see that what I really wanted to do was make videos that made people laugh. To me, there's no better feeling than making another person laugh. The highest compliment is somebody saying, "You're funny." Doesn't happen that much, but it is the most rewarding. Robin Williams was funny. He was the embodiment of funny. And if he can go from being a cheerleader to being one of the funniest people on earth, well, then I can go from being a guy who edited shitty YouTube videos to being a guy in shitty YouTube videos to one day being a guy whose YouTube videos aren't actually that shitty. You know? I was fortunate to work with Robin Williams one time. And by work, I mean I stood behind a video camera, timidly said action, and then just watched in awe as he did his thing. I don't mention this to be that fucking guy who is saying he got to work with Robin Williams because it's a relevant topic to discuss today. I mention it because the day I worked with him was one of the biggest moments for me in my professional career. At the time, I was editing and directing the show Equals 3. Now, to be honest, I didn't feel successful as the editor and director of that show, primarily because it was just a short 5-minute YouTube clip show. I didn't give a shit about a show on YouTube because the only thing I considered valid entertainment platforms were televisions and movie theaters. My outlook on what I was doing changed the day Robin Williams shot a guest spot on the show with us.
Stoners vs. Ninja Squirrel, one of the great films of all time. First of all, it's incredible because they probably put that squirrel in there and then they forgot it was there because they're that stoned. And all of a sudden the squirrel goes, yeah, you can do it! And you know that squirrel goes back to the other squirrels going, listen, I just saw these two really stoned guys and I don't know why, but I'm hungry right now.
That day was the first time in my professional career that I felt like I was on the right track. I'd spent my whole life thinking about what I wanted to do and working towards what I wanted to do. And when I was starting to actually do it, I didn't even realize it. By no means had I felt like I made it, but for the first time, I actually bought into the idea that I could do some of the things that I really wanted to do. So, in a weird way, working with him made my dreams feel more tangible. Along with the joy I felt that day working with him, I also felt like I wanted to puke. I was nervous, and I thought I was shitty at my job. And that would be the day that everyone called me out on sucking at it. Thank God that didn't happen. It made me feel proud because I knew I was working with someone who mattered. And he mattered for the right reasons. He was a real artist. Robin wasn't a manufactured reality TV star. His success was due to his talent. He learned to be the funniest person in any room, and he did so by working his ass off. That's what I respect. He helped us forget about our problems, even though he was dealing with major ones himself. He gave us the gift of getting lost in a story, and that's what real artists do. So even though Robin Williams will be missed, I want to thank him for helping to validate my work and contributing to giving me the courage to keep pursuing goals that deep down I feel are absolutely ridiculous. Thanks for watching That's Good Broncos. I'll be back next week after the second preseason Broncos game to talk about the second preseason Broncos game. I'm not sure when it's going to air in LA, but as soon as it does, I will get on covering it in depth.